The North American auto industry is undergoing a seismic shift. Major Japanese automakers are quietly redirecting manufacturing investments, not to Mexico or Japan, but to Canada. This move is a direct response to U.S. trade policies that have made American production less attractive. For decades, Japanese brands built factories across the U.S., fueling local economies. Now, that trend is reversing. Canada's stable trade environment and government incentives have made it the new hub for auto manufacturing. As American policies aim to bring jobs home, they've ironically pushed them north. The result, a realignment that leaves U.S. workers and consumers facing the fallout of unintended consequences. In recent years, aggressive U.S. trade policies, especially the imposition of steep tariffs on auto parts and finished vehicles, have triggered a dramatic shift in the global auto industry. These tariffs, designed to protect American manufacturing, instead set off a wave of change that few anticipated. As costs soared, automakers began searching for ways to keep their businesses afloat and remain competitive in a rapidly evolving market. The global auto supply chain is incredibly complex. Cars built in the U.S. rely on a vast network of parts sourced from Japan, Mexico, Canada, and beyond. Each vehicle is the result of international collaboration, with components crossing borders multiple times before final assembly. Tariffs disrupted this delicate system, raising costs for American factories and making it harder for them to compete. Many plants face tough choices: absorb the extra costs, pass them on to consumers, or move production elsewhere. The USMCA trade deal, which replaced NAFTA, added even stricter rules for automakers. New requirements for sourcing materials and labor standards made compliance more complicated and expensive, especially for companies with global supply chains. Meanwhile, a new US-Japan agreement lowered tariffs on cars imported directly from Japan, but not for vehicles assembled in Canada or Mexico. This created a patchwork of rules that automakers had to navigate carefully. For automakers like Toyota and Honda, producing cars in the US became financially punishing. Tariffs squeezed profits, and the uncertainty of shifting regulations made long-term planning difficult. Canada, as a USMCA partner with more favorable trade terms, quickly emerged as the logical alternative for companies looking to avoid the worst of the tariffs and regulatory headaches. By shifting production north, automakers can assemble vehicles in Canada and then export them to the US under more favorable terms, keeping costs down and supply chains moving. This strategic move allows companies to bypass many tariffs, maintain access to the lucrative American market, and keep their products affordable for U.S. consumers. In effect, Canada has become the side door into the U.S. auto market, a vital gateway for automakers navigating the new trade landscape. Toyota exemplifies this shift. Despite producing nearly 2 million vehicles in the U.S. last year, Toyota is moving some operations to Canada. In early 2026, Toyota's North American division reported a $438 million net loss, a sharp reversal from previous years. Tariffs on parts turned profits into losses, forcing Toyota to rethink its strategy. By ramping up production in Ontario, Toyota can use USMCA rules to export vehicles to the US with fewer tariffs. This isn't about abandoning the US, but about survival. Jobs and investment that once went to Kentucky or Indiana are now flowing to Canada. Toyota's move is a calculated response to U.S. policy, protecting its bottom line. For every car built in Canada instead of the U.S., Canada gains, and America loses. The impact is immediate for American auto workers. Factories that once buzzed with activity now stand silent, and the livelihoods of countless families hang in the balance. Every shift moved to Canada means lost jobs in U.S. factory towns. These towns, once thriving on the backbone of the auto industry, now face economic uncertainty and decline. These are well-paying, often union jobs that supported communities for generations. The loss of these jobs doesn't just affect individual workers. It ripples through entire communities, impacting local businesses and services. The ripple effect extends to consumers. Automakers face billions in new costs, and those costs are showing up in car prices. Consumers are now feeling the pinch as they shop for new vehicles. Japanese automakers have started building tariff costs into sticker prices, even if they blame seasonal adjustments. This means higher prices for consumers, regardless of the reason given. American automakers like Ford and GM aren't immune. Ford alone expects over $2 billion in tariff costs this year. These costs inevitably trickle down to the consumer, making cars more expensive. Industry groups argue the US-Japan deal creates an uneven playing field, penalizing North American integration. They claim it puts American companies at a disadvantage, the result job losses and higher prices for American consumers. Families are finding it harder to afford new cars, and the economic strain is evident. The promise of bringing manufacturing back to the US has backfired. Instead of revitalizing the industry, it has led to more challenges and setbacks. Companies now have a financial incentive to look elsewhere. The search for cheaper production costs is driving them to move operations abroad. Washington's frustration is growing, but the damage is already being felt on the ground. Policymakers are scrambling to find solutions, but for many, it may be too late. American workers and buyers are paying the price. The economic landscape is shifting, and the future remains uncertain for many. While the US struggles, Canada is reaping the rewards. The Canadian government has created a stable, welcoming environment for auto investment. Participation in the USMCA gives Canada tariff-advantaged access to the US market. Billions in subsidies and tax credits have attracted automakers, especially for electric vehicles and batteries. Volkswagen and Stellantis have announced major investments in Canadian plants, creating thousands of high-paying jobs. Canada's forward-thinking policies contrast sharply with the US's punitive approach. The country is securing not just today's jobs, but the future of the auto industry. Automakers are moving north because it makes business sense. Canada offers lower risk and higher reward. As the US sends mixed signals, Canada's message is clear. It's open for business. Financial reports reveal the stark contrast. North America, once a profit center for Japanese automakers, is now a money loser. In early 2026, Toyota lost $438 million in North America, despite strong sales. Meanwhile, profits soared in Japan and Asia. The problem isn't global, it's local, driven by US tariffs. To fix this, Toyota is shifting production to Canada, aiming to restore North American profitability. The move isn't about leaving the US, but about adapting to survive. Global automakers can absorb losses in one region if they profit elsewhere. This flexibility lets them shift investment to more favorable locations. The US is learning that market size alone can't guarantee manufacturing dominance. Japanese automakers' latest moves are redrawing the North American auto map, shifting the industry's center of gravity in ways few could have predicted just a few years ago. The US is no longer the automatic choice for manufacturing. Canada has rapidly emerged as a central hub, attracting new investment and production lines from global car makers. This shift is set to reshape supply chains, create new jobs, and redirect billions in investment for years to come, impacting communities and economies across the continent. For American consumers, higher prices are quickly becoming the new normal as tariffs and trade barriers drive up costs on dealership lots, making it harder for families to afford new vehicles. Automakers will keep emphasizing their US commitment in public statements, but behind the scenes, their actions increasingly point north of the border. Industry groups are urging Washington to rethink trade policy and level the playing field, warning that current rules are pushing jobs and innovation away from American soil. The decision to favor Canada is a direct response to US policies that penalize domestic production, while Canada offers incentives, stability, and a welcoming environment for automakers. Canada's economy is booming, especially in the fast-growing electric vehicle sector, where new plants and technologies are creating thousands of high-quality jobs. For the US, it's a stark warning. Protectionism has real costs. Lost jobs, higher prices, and a diminished role in shaping the future of the global auto industry. The North American auto scramble is underway, with companies racing to adapt to new realities and seize emerging opportunities. For now, Canada is winning. Its auto sector is thriving, and its workers are reaping the benefits of this historic shift. Meanwhile, the US is being left behind, facing tough questions about its future in the global auto race.